Just take a look at this little lot. There's never been such a mouth-watering selection of hot hatches. There are balls-out powermongers, fine-handling circuit bashers, and new versions of old favourites. But which one's best? Well, we're going to whittle down the candidates and submit our two favourites to Tiff, who'll pass final judgment in his court of fast laps.
So, Johnny, what do you reckon, mate?
Well, to be honest, from where I'm stood, I'm thinking I'll take any one of them home. Thanks very much. You?
Immediately drawn to the Civic, but that's probably because it's the newest car here. And every time I look at that group, I can't help but being drawn back to the good old, solid Golf GTI.
Well, it is definitive, much like the Biro and the Hoover.
Yeah, true.
Should we go and have a play?
I think we'd better get on with it.
Okay.
First one, I'll tell you what, this is a Mazda 3 MPS, right?
It's quite a forgettable looking vehicle, isn't it?
Forgettable? This is a... what is it?
But this is the most powerful car here.
256 brake. This has got so much torque steer, it feels like one of the wheels has got 40 psi and the other one's got 10. It looks like it's a shopping car.
It's a librarian.
Yeah, it's a librarian car. It's a bit like that.
It's like that.
Hooligan car.
Absolute hooligan. This is like, you know when you drink too much and you think you can run really fast and you'll do it for about 10 seconds and then you actually run into something because you're drunk.
Because you veer off.
That's what that is.
You're constantly fighting it. It's like a brawl with a car.
It's 240 horses, isn't it?
It's just it's an Astra. And it bleeps.
I don't know.
Leave the keys.
The Seat have done a pretty weird job. I don't know if I like it. It's too curvy for me.
It looks good at certain angles. Got to say that. 237 brake. And every time I drive it, I get out of it and just think, yeah, it's fast, but I just don't get involved with it. And a hot hatch should be more than that. It should be visceral. It should be fingertip stuff, and you should feel what you're doing with it. It should involve you.
In silver, that looks surprisingly sensible.
Yeah, but most people have them in orange with great big stripes on it, and they look quite hooky.
The Focus has got a good combination of power with control.
But also, it's dead practical. I mean, it is essentially just a Focus.
And this is cheap. I want to talk about the Megane.
Can I just show you one thing?
That's
not just light, that's made of Kit Kat wrappers.
This is 230 horses, turbocharged, like most of the other ones. I think this is a very, very high contender here. It's a good-looking body shape. It's confident.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. It doesn't look good.
Deciding wasn't easy, but after a couple of arm wrestles, we narrowed the original 7 down to 4. To continue sorting the wheat from the chaff, we headed to Birmingham, where there's potholes and traffic lights and girls at bus stops, to see which car impressed the most in the real world.
You know, like when you go to the toilet in your own home, it always feels a little bit more special, a bit more relaxed, a bit more satisfying. That's exactly what the Mark V Golf is like. And the GTI 30th Anniversary Edition means you've got a little bit of extra body kit, you've got some alloy wheels, and you've got 20 extra horsepower on top of the 197 that you had in the first place. And it'll do over 35 miles to the gallon. And it sounds like that. Oh.
Spec for spec, this is the cheapest car in our group. You can actually get into one for under £18,000, which is incredible value. It's got suspension that won't knock your teeth out. It's got space. It's got a lovely big turbo engine that blends the power rather than just smacking you back like a baseball bat to the forehead. You know, as a real-world, everyday car, you're going to struggle to beat this. Listen to that.
But the trouble with the Ford Focus ST is that its name is over far too quickly, which is why I'm very fond of this. The Renault Sport. Can't even get the name of this damn car right.
So, this is the new Honda Civic Type R. It's only got 1 brake horsepower more than the old car, and it's actually got slightly less torque. But the trick with the torque is it actually comes in slightly earlier than before, so it feels more gutsy.
Megane Renault Sport 230 F1T. It's like learning a Shakespearean play.
The rear suspension is a torsion bar, and it makes the ride a little bit fidgety. That could get on your nerves after a while.
I think I've learned its name now.
Listen to it. Just feels great.
The Megane Renault Sport 230 F1 Team R36. I think that's its full name. Like all Renault Sport cars, this feels immensely fast, and it also feels very light. You see, the only doubt I have is their longevity. Not necessarily the mechanics, but the rest of the packaging around it. What I mean by that is things like buttons falling off and door handles dissolving. Got a neo-Nazi and an old-shaped McGann next to me. Not going to make eye contact. Just going to burn him. Ooh.